We're live. All right, so we're live. Hello. So I see some people were excited that I posted some videos yesterday. I know you thought I was live, but I wasn't. That was actually an old live that I did. Well, it's not even old. It's like I did it a couple days ago on Facebook. So I do actually tend to go live a little more on my Facebook, right? So make sure that you are signed. Well, make sure that you join their group. Black Fertility and me on my Facebook page. If you do want to see more videos, I tend to do just a little more like, practices and activities in that group, just because it just seems a little more like easier to do it on Facebook than doing certain things on YouTube. Because, Facebook, you don't have to deal with all the what's in the description, all of that. So, as you can see from the title, today I want to talk about fibroids and what some of the symptoms are. And like the reason why I like fibroids or dealing with fibroids, talking about fibroids as far as fertility goes, even though there's other things like polyps and cysts and adenomyosis and endometriosis and, PCOS. The reason why I again sort of like gravitates to fibroids is because I actually have had a fibroid. It wasn't a uterine fibroid, but it was still a fibroid nonetheless. So if you've been watching some of my most recent videos and reading some of my posts on Instagram, you may notice that I spoke about how I healed my fibroid, or how I shrunk my fibroid. So peace, I'm seeing comments. What's up? Right. So I have healed my fibroid in my breast. And so from doing that, I noticed that, it was certain things I was doing, like through diet, exercise, and really sort of not stressing myself out enough to, make it grow or anything like that. I feel like I actually shrunk the fibroid through diet, exercise, and like regular self-care routines. I did have the fibroid since I was like 14. I discovered it when I was 14, and I actually thought it was cancer. I might have been 13 or 14. But I discovered it. I thought it was like cancer, y'all. I thought I was going to die. It's so funny. But it turned out to just be a benign fibroid. I think they called it like a benign. Yeah, I don't think it was a benign. It's all the same. It was a fibroid. But so like, in my most recent video too, I have been talking about my major shift in my life and all of that. Really, what happened was my trip to really Key West. I call it the end of the world. My trip to Key West, like when I went on that trip, like that was when I really like sort of just went back in and tapped into my femininity a whole lot more. And I started to realize that, this is where I really wanted to be. And these were the things that I always wanted to do. Of course, I already had my Black Fertility page then, but like, it's so easy to sort of lose sight of what your goals are and what your plans are and what you want to do. So anyways, my trip to Key West and my trip to, it was all of that, Key West, LA, all of that. It sort of like brought it all back. And so that's kind of like why I've been, starting back or promoting fertility a lot more than I was doing before. And why I'm sort of like more like honing down and sort of tightening up as far as this goes. So before I actually went to LA or to Key West, I did create a fibroid page. And part of the reason why I did that was like I got a book, and it was written by a Black woman. It's called It's a Sister Thing. Right. So if you have fibroids, you might want to read that book. Or if you know anybody with fibroids, I really recommend that book, because she talks a lot about how the fibroids are basically reversible or manageable. She did, I think, get a myomectomy surgery, but you don't have to get a hysterectomy. And that was the main thing in that book that I learned. Now, for myself, with my breast fibroid, even at 14, I was like, I am not letting nobody cut up into me. Nobody is cutting the fight. Nobody is. At that point, I pretty much would have rather die. As crazy as it sounds, I was like, I'm so natural. That's not happening, right? So the book was like, it was like a really good fit because she did go through a whole lot of other procedures and things that you can do, which I will talk about some more in other videos. But today I just pretty much wanted to talk about the symptoms because I know that a lot of women think that like a 7-day fertility, 7-day menstrual cycle is normal. I've been hearing women that are just bleeding just nonstop, right? And we weren't taught in school that, your period is supposed to stop. Or actually we were, but we weren't taught that it can go on without stopping it, to what to do if that happens. They really just sort of focused on, are you pregnant, and STDs. Why they didn't tell you about fibroids? It's not like fibroids didn't exist when we were younger and all of that, but I really feel like some of that stuff was just like intentionally left out. Like we were just supposed to be worried about getting pregnant and that was it, when really a lot of the other things that we're doing is worse, is worse. Like it's just really worse. And I think we were sort of set up to some degree. But to talk about what the symptoms are, and how you can sort of help yourself and maybe some other women that may be dealing with fibroids. I think one of the main things that you need to pay attention to is how long you are menstruating, like how long you are bleeding. Because to be honest, some of that bleeding is not a real menstruation. Like if you are bleeding in between periods, those can be considered like false bleeds, or they're not even, some people are not even spotting. It's not even spotting. These are complete needs for pads. So, and filling up the pads and continuing to need like pads, like as though you had a regular period. So that's why people can't really tell the difference, right? So if you're bleeding for like more than 7 days, or even, I would say, even if you're bleeding for 7 days, that would be like something that you want to be concerned about. So let's start numbering them up. So menorrhagia, or like excessive bleeding outside of your period, is one thing. Painful periods as well, right? So if your periods are really excruciatingly painful, if you need to like really consider taking time off, whatever you're doing, sitting down, if you need to stop, if your period messes with you in any way, there's something going on there. Because I used to have period pain. Okay. When I was younger, when I was that same age, 14, I may have had uterine fibroids before in my life. I don't know, but I know that I did. I experienced painful periods. I experienced extensively long periods. And what I thought was bad for me, I knew another girl, she had it worse than I did. So if your periods are really, really, really painful, like you can't go nowhere, you can't do nothing. Oh man, just like, it's gonna go away. If you start hating yourself because of your periods, those are signs that something else is going on in your womb. Because when I get my periods now, right, and for like the last, I would say maybe like 5, 6, 7 years, I don't have period pains. Like, and probably be longer than that. I don't have period pains no more. My period is a non-factor as far as the limitations go in my life. I don't experience pain. To me, my period pain is as painful as my what do they call that thing? Middle shimers, or like when you're getting your ovulation. I can feel my ovulation now, and my period, so-called period pain, is painful as that is, and it's not painful. I'm really playing on the word painful. It's not painful, right? So your menstruation should not be painful. So some other things is painful sexual intercourse, right? So there were times when I experienced painful sexual intercourse. Like I literally felt like somebody was hurting me, like to hurt, like, and that wasn't even really the case. But I felt like I was seeing into freaking other galaxies with the pain, and not because it was good. Okay, it wasn't nothing. It wasn't even that good. It was just pain. So I know some of you are going to be like, "Oh no, it wasn't none of that." It was literal pain. Like I literally felt like I could feel like my leg was, the nerves of my leg were sort of like, I don't know. you know, so painful, that intercourse or whatever, that's another sign. But some other things that we don't really pay attention to are things like hemorrhoids, right? So if you have hemorrhoids, you know, that could be a sign that you have uterine fibroids. And I did have that at one point. I experienced, that was scary for me. You know, that was a lot of blood. Okay, it was blood every freaking where, every time I went to the bathroom. And you know, I was young. I was like 18. Wasn't nobody telling me about uterine fibroids. I learned I had a breast fibroid, but as far as I knew, it wasn't doing nothing to me. But uterine fibroids is something I didn't know, and I probably had that, right? So bleeding in the toilet when you go to the bathroom, like you're not on your period, that could be hemorrhoids, right? And you could lose a lot of blood. When I say I lost blood, okay, it would look like a massacre. Like I really probably should keep this to myself, but I know it could help somebody. So, you know, if you're going to the bathroom and you're not on your period, but just because you go, you know, for like a number 2 or whatever, and a lot of blood comes out, that could be a hemorrhoid, and you could be having hemorrhoids because of the fibroids. And because the fibroids can be pushing on your colon, right? And like just causing, again, a backed up blood, backed up circulation, backed up, you know, clots and so forth. So when you do go to the washroom, that's sort of the only way for it to release. When you finally release all that backed up blood, it's like, yes. And then it sort of comes out through the hemorrhoid. The hemorrhoid is also a sign of poor circulation. So it's coming out through the hemorrhoid is sort of storing that backed up blood as well. So another thing that can happen is that you can also feel constipated like all the time when you're not needing to use the bathroom, because again, the fibroids can be pushing on your colon. So you probably already, you know, are like grossed out by all of that right now, right? So I want to start talking more about like how fibroids can affect your fertility, because that's what my page is all about, right? So when I did the research, when I was doing, and I didn't just read that one book, I told you I created a whole site on fibroids, but my site is not public right now. But if you do want to look it up, maybe I'll make it public. It's called Uterine Fibroid Prevention, and it's a WordPress site. So it's uterinefibroidprevention.wordpress.com. I'll probably make it public, but I am going to be moving the content over to my new website. It was really just something I did just for fun and just as a hobby. I'm kind of weird like that. I will just study like a whole body of work and like take notes and make it presentable. My intention was to just have it out there for people to sort of learn more about fibroids. I just never got around to publicizing it because, like I said, I was traveling, so it just fell on the back burner. But so that's the site. You can go check it out. Probably after this video, I'll make some parts of it live or something like that, or I'll just, I don't know. But so fibroids, so like I was saying, when I was doing the research for it, like almost every book I was reading, especially when they were written by white people, they were all saying, oh, we don't know the cause of fibroids. There is no cause of fibroids. Doctors don't know the reason for fibroids. There's no explanation for fibroids. It's unknown the reason for, and I'm telling you, they will go on and on and on and on and on telling you that, oh, there's no reason for fibroids. And I know the light's getting bad. I gotta like open the window. But they'll go on and on telling you that there's no cause for fibroids. Okay. But I want to say that for me, I really did feel like my fibroid, at least in my breast, was caused by trauma, because I did have an experience where I didn't want to go through all that right now, but it literally was caused by trauma. I got hit in my breast when I was like 9 years old, repeatedly, intentionally, on purpose, by some badass boys in my neighborhood that literally said they wanted to give me breast cancer because I would not give in to their sexual demands. So it literally was caused due to physical trauma. Now, you can also get fibroids to me from emotional trauma, right? And I would say trauma like, just pain that you store in your womb, as far as womb fibroids go, pain that you are storing in your womb, okay, that is manifesting and physicalizing and attracting matter onto itself, okay, because in the beginning was the word, and then the word turned into sound, and then the sound took on flesh and all of that good stuff, right? So the same thing happens with fibroids, within as so without, within as so without, or so without so within, right? So the fibroids, they manifest, they that energy starts attracting, or it's another way for your body to store toxins, whether it's emotional toxins or physical toxins, right? And I do feel like the food that we were raised on, that at least I was raised on, sort of helped fibroids to grow. But once I became vegan, vegetarian, well, first I was vegetarian, then I became vegan, and that progressed. Like, my so-called vegan was horrible. My vegan was dehydrated soy, this, and I really did have to stop eating it at one point. My so-called vegetarian was nothing. Even my so-called vegan, when I really was getting into it myself, was nothing like where I have gotten it to. But I really do feel like my diet, my meditation, my exercise really helped. So, but yeah, I'm gonna look up some other things, because like I had put some really unique things on there that you're not gonna just find anywhere online. But hemorrhoids is definitely one of the symptoms. Feeling constipated, and let me see what else I had, because there's some things on here that you are not going to hear about anywhere else. And of course, I did not have this page open. Hold on. So I just want to know, do you all know anybody with fibroids? Can you come open this window a little bit more? It's getting dark all of a sudden up in here. So yeah, do you know anyone with fibroids? Because you could definitely tag them and share this video with them, because people do need to know. And again, fibroids, as far as Black people as far as it relates to Black people, we are actually affected by fibroids more than any other group of women. And on top of that, we also end up getting hysterectomies more than other races of women. And I don't have the stats right now, but I will make another video and talk about it. One thing I do know is that for Black women, by the time you are 50% of Black women will have fibroids. And you'll be lucky if you still have your womb by then, because the doctors do not want to give you not natural. They want to do a hysterectomy. They don't want to do things like myomectomy or laparoscopic, whatever these things are called. But yeah, okay. So I definitely want to talk about infertility, but okay. So let me just talk about that, because I had mentioned it. So yeah, fibroids can help to cause infertility because, and this is what I wanted to say. When you're reading these books, they tell you there's no cause for fibroids. And they actually will go as far as to tell you that they do not cause infertility, so you don't have to worry about nothing. But that's not necessarily true, because what happens is that the fibroid actually, it does several things. It robs your body of nutrients, okay? Because the fibroid grows. The fibroid has blood vessels, it has nerves, it has nutrients and stuff going to it. Now, once it gets to it, it sort of gets stuck there, but it still has a demand on your body for nutrients. So it's still pulling nutrients, it's still pulling blood, it's still pulling things that you need, right? And growing and taking up space in your womb. Okay, so your womb is really, really small. If you just make like a fist, like your womb is like, is really small. Okay, so just imagine a fibroid growing the size of a lime, a lemon, a grapefruit, a small watermelon growing inside of your womb. Where does sperm and a fertilized egg have room to implant into your womb? It doesn't really have a lot of room. And so what happens is that the growing embryo, if it does manage to latch onto your womb, it has to fight for space between the fibroid and itself, right? It has to basically fight for space. So my mom actually had a fibroid when she had my sister, and the doctors had told her that either one or the other was going to survive. Either my sister was going to survive or the fibroid was. And so, of course, luckily my sister did. But that's what happens is the fibroid sucks nutrients, blood, energy that could be going to the uterus. So another thing that can happen is that because the fibroid is there and it's dangling, it's like it could be dangling there. There's three places the fibroid can grow: inside the womb, in between the tissues of the woman, outside. But if it's like a pedunculated fibroid, or if it's hanging inside of the womb, if it's protruding through the womb, it can rub the embryo off of like what would be the placenta. It can detach the embryo from the womb, or just make it where it cannot latch in the first place, where the fertilized egg cannot implant in the first place. So it definitely can cause infertility, and it definitely can cause miscarriages. But if you're reading these books, they're not going to tell you that, and I don't know why they do this. It literally can cause infertility. So if you have fibroids, like, I really definitely encourage you to do something about that before you actively try to have a baby. Like, of course, you can definitely conceive and have a baby, even if you have fibroids. But it's like, I feel like that's just so much trauma to put yourself through. Um, to experience a miscarriage, especially where you've been trying for a long time to conceive, and you have fibroids, and you conceive and then you miscarry, more than likely because of the fibroid. I feel like that's just a lot to put yourself through, right? So if you have fibroids, I definitely, take the time in order to address the fibroids, and they can be addressed, right? If you are going to read books, I would suggest you start to read the books that are more based on like Eastern science or Ayurvedic science, or even written by Black women. If you can find some that are more dealing with like the African perspective, even if you go to like the Caribbean, there are some books about like herbs and stuff written by Jamaicans and so forth, where they will go through the different herbs and stuff like that, or just expand your sources of knowledge. Don't make it all just be from these white doctors and these white men doctors that don't have wombs. And like yesterday, I was watching this video on Yoni steaming, and this man was talking about it, this white man, and I literally was waiting for him to demonstrate the Yoni steam to me. I don't know why, but like, it's a natural instinct. It's like, okay, now you're gonna show it to me, right? Now you're gonna show. I was sweeping, so I wasn't really fully watching, but I was literally. And when the video ended, I was like, damn. I literally was here waiting for this white man to show me how he Yoni steams. It was so stupid, but that's what I'm saying. Don't just use one source as your source of information, right? So definitely again, check out other sources. So they will help you to sort of see that there definitely are things you can do. You can definitely use, again, certain foods and everything to sort of shrink. You can shrink the fibroid. You can cut off his blood supply, and you can reduce the amount of them, and just completely get rid of it. Like you can reabsorb, expel the toxins that are helping the fibroid to grow, or that result as the fibroid. You can basically expel it back through the body through your regular excretion, like whether you urine, you sweat, you urinate, sweat, or defecate, or whatever the case may be. The fibroids can go away just like they were built. They are an overgrowth of cells, right? So you can definitely get rid of them. So I wanted some other things, again, was the cramps. So that goes back into the pains during periods. So all of these things are like symptoms of fibroids. So let me see. Oh yeah, okay, pelvic pressure. So if you feel like you have a lot of pressure in your pelvis, that is another sign of fibroids. One thing I did used to have that I have here is, let me see, I used to have an extended uterus. Every time I used to go to like the doctor, the clinic, they used to be like, oh, she has an extended uterus, or you have an extended uterus, or they would just be like feeling my stomach and talking about it's an extended uterus. And I'd be looking at them like, why are you all saying I have an extended uterus? Like, they won't even tell you why they're saying these things. All right, at least give you a heads up. Like that's really how I feel, especially after I learned about this. So if you have like an extended uterus, okay, that could be another sign of fibroids. Okay, so also if you have bowel issues, like I really, you got to pay attention to even whether you're having bowel issues. Not only do you have a constipated feeling, but do you actually have trouble, having a bowel movement, right? And again, part of that could be your diet. Like if you can't even go to the bathroom because of the hard foods that you're eating, and not just hard foods, but like the lack of fruits and the lack of vegetables and water and all of that, that can be causing uterine fibroid pain. If you have pain empty in your bladder, that could be a symptom, because again the fibroid can be pushing on your bladder, so you're not able to. I had this symptom. Like when I say I had all these symptoms, so like for all I know, when I had my fibroid, and when I had like in my breast, and when I had what is the thing called again, hemorrhoids, I probably just had regular fibroids, y'all, because I used to have almost like a whole lot of these issues. Okay, so I'm just trying to see if there's anything I missed, right? So we talked about, let's see. So we talked about enlarged uterus. We talked about excessive bleeding, okay, for more than 4 to 7 days. We talked about infertility. We talked about trouble emptying your bladder, constipated feeling, cramps, uterine pain. Okay, well, maybe we didn't talk more. Let's talk more about uterine pain. Okay, again, feeling like something is pulling or turning in your uterus. And the reason why you might feel that is because if you have a pedunculated fibroid, which I'll talk about in another video, but it's really a fibroid that is growing on a stalk. Okay, so it's kind of like a polyp, but it's actually like, it could be bigger. But if you feel like something is pulling and turning, and you can only sit a certain way, and if you do certain things that, it's going to affect your uterus, that could be a uterine fibroid, that is a pedunculated fibroid. Okay, and so another thing that's really big is fatigue. So if you're really tired, and when I was I used to be, when I say I used to be tired, but I read from the book too. She used to be tired as well. I can't remember all the details because I read this like 2 or 3 years ago. But if you're extremely tired, like if you don't want to get up and go to work in the morning, like if and I'm not talking about just after eating a big meal. I mean just in life general. Like you don't want to do nothing. Like you're a very unmotivated. You're very you have a sluggish feeling, almost like a depressed, almost just like a lack of energy. Okay, you may have fibroids. And like, once I stopped eating the meat and so forth, I definitely had a lot more energy, but I probably was, cutting off the energy and blood supply, not blood supply completely, but I probably was, slowly shrinking the fibroids, because I've been vegan for quite a while now, right? Okay, and so compressed blood vessels. So that would be like what do they call that stuff? Because I have that too. Varicose veins. Okay, so again, another sign of poor circulation, right? So bowel movements, hemorrhoids, so all of that. So if you have those type of issues, it's possible that you have fibroids or have had fibroids. Even if you know somebody with those symptoms, they may also have fibroids themselves. So you can definitely, again, shrink it, reduce it, and don't just take these people's word for it that there's no cause and there's nothing you can do about it, and the only solution you can do is come to us and we'll cut your womb out for you, and then you can go and you can. No, when you do the hysterectomy, a lot of women go into immediate menopausal symptoms. So immediately will start, well, maybe not that day, but it's very possible that you put yourself into premature menopause. So you may experience the hot flashes, the mood swings, and just a whole host of other symptoms that come with menopause, right? But some of the things that you can do, again, to deal with uterine fibroids is, again, to do what they call womb steam. Okay. Now I know they use the word yoni steam. I'm really not that much of a fan of the word yoni because it's actually like a misnomer to call it a yoni and then to say that it is Sanskrit and all of that, because a lot of that deals with a lot of racism and all of that. Like if you actually do the research on the word Sanskrit, as far as it goes, race in India, but a lot of people don't talk about that either. I'll make a whole nother video about that. But so yeah, basically yoni steam, or what they're calling yoni steam, and is one thing that you can do to address uterine fibroids. And yoni steaming works because the steam again enters the uterus, okay, right, and the basically carries the essential oils, carries the herbal properties into your womb, and it triggers your hormones to either produce less estrogen if you need less estrogen, or to produce more estrogen. It can help your body to produce more testosterone, or to convert testosterone, and again, to rid your body of these things. So again, especially when you're dealing with fibroids, you want herbs that are not going to promote more fibroids. Not going to promote more fibroids by helping your body promote more estrogen. So you want to make sure you can't just use any herbs. Like I've been seeing it happen so much. People are buying yoni steams and getting yoni steams, and they have things in there like red clover and other herbs that they're good if you maybe have PCOS. Turn that down. They're good if you maybe have like PCOS, but they're not really good if you have estrogen dominant herbs, estrogen dominant fertility challenges like fibroids or polyps or endometriosis. So when you're getting a yoni steam, you really need a yoni steam that is pretty much more formulated to again work with reducing the estrogen load in your body, right? So yoni steams, they also help to get rid of the excess tissue that's left behind from old periods that never pretty much got out of the body, because your womb, you could have poor circulation, not just poor circulation, but it's like just stagnant energy, right? So if you're sitting down a lot, which I was, if you're sitting down a lot, and typically black women, we do a lot of office work, or a lot of working in these corporate businesses and facilities where are just standing still, even like it's poor circulation. We're not moving our ways. In America, they're very against doing things like sensual movement or twerking, right? So it's taboo to work your waist area, right? So again, another reason why it's so much fibroids, is so much womb issues happening in America. And I would really say, if you're a sister, you all need to cut that shit out, right? You all need to stop being so uptight, and stop letting some of these men be like, "Ooh, that's ghetto and that's ratchet and that's it." It's womb work, it's womb healing, it's that stuff is like, it's really necessary. It's necessary. It's not even a question. There's no questions about that. Like, you really should be moving your womb and unwinding and releasing and letting go each and every day, right? So yoni steam helps with that if you were not going to go that far, right? Again, helps to improve circulation so your blood can flow better, so your lymph can flow better. A lot of people don't talk about lymph fluid and all of that, but all of that helps to carry out waste through your body as well, to get it out of your system. Okay. Also helps to promote ovulation. Yoni steams help to do that if you're using the right herbs, right? And helps to remove blockages, old tissue. If you do have a miscarriage, certain herbs can help to get rid of the fetal matter from a miscarriage. That some women don't go to the hospital after a miscarriage. Like, I would say I've had miscarriages and I didn't go to no doctor to scrape me out and clean me out and do all of that. It really wasn't something that I was trying to do or that I wanted to do. So You know, and when you think about it, yoni steams have been around before there was modern medicine, before there was this modern, you know, hospitals and all of that. This is what our great great grandparents would have done in order to deal with their uterine issues, right? Um, this is what it almost will feel natural. Like, just think about it. When you go to, when you take a bath, right? And you set the bath and the water is all nice and warm. I don't know about you, but I put essential oils in my bath. I put certain plants. I do, you know, I basically take a yoni steam bath, if you can call it that, but it really is called like a sitz bath. I put all type of thing, oils in my bath. I do all of that, like candles, whatever, and I'll sit in there and I will be in there for like an hour. Okay, maybe not now anymore. I can't really be in there for a whole hour, but when I can, that's what I will do, right? And the first feeling when you sit in that water is complete relaxation, right? So why wouldn't you want to do that, or why wouldn't you think that our ancestors and so forth did that? That's what they do. Like the water feels just so good on your womb. And I just wanted to read this comment. You said, thanks for educating us on how fibroids affect fertility, but I was wondering if you would give your opinion on a man having a child in his 50s. My opinion on that is, um of course, I mean, I don't know, like, isn't that what I would think, that that's what men in their 50s do? I mean, if you can, like, obviously you want to be able to take care of the child, you want to be able to take care of the woman. And I would say to make sure that, you know, you're actually going to set them up in a good way. Otherwise, you know, why, you know, like because especially if you're not gonna, you know, unless you plan on being around for another 150 years, you know, you got to make sure that the child is going to be taken care of, and that the woman is going to be able to take care of the child as well. So yeah, if you can, you know, if you can do all that. Otherwise, you know, I don't want to say don't have a child, but it's kind of like, um I don't know, maybe I'm not sure what the question you're asking. Maybe you're wondering, maybe you need help as to have a child in your 50s. But like I said, if you can, as long as you can sort of provide for the child, provide for the woman, so that she can again also take care of the child and herself, because it's not easy to take care of yourself and several other people that are coming, especially for a woman. Cause I feel like men can just go on like nothing happened, but you know, with a woman, it's kind of like, that's why women, they, people think women let themselves go, but it's kind of like there's certain things you can't be holding on to when you, after you got like children, and still keep your sanity. Like something, you got to make a sacrifice. So you know, just as long as you can sort of um not make things harder for yourself, the child, or the other woman, or the woman, or whatever, then you know, I would say go for it, right? But back to this. So yeah, the yoni steaming, I thought he was going to ask me about yoni steam. I was wondering if you would give your advice on yoni steaming for a man. I thought that's what he was going to say, because I did say that men are going to be yoni steaming soon, right? So y'all can like sort of like mark my word on that. Um, okay, all these men, because somebody did ask in one of my videos on Instagram, they were like, "Oh, I want a yoni steam, but my man said da 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 da." I was like, "This man, he got a yoni? That's great! Wow, that's good. Yeah, what he got to say about it if he don't have a yoni?" That's what I want to know. Unless he's telling you what the credit card number is, and you know, he's letting you know that he's going to watch the children for the 40 minutes or longer, however long you need to do the yoni steam. What's he got to say about it? Unless he wants them to, right? So look out for that. Look out for men yoni steaming. They're not gonna call it yoni steaming. It's gonna be called like phallus steam, or something like that. But yeah, that's what I thought. But so yeah, yoni steam is really good. It helps to promote ovulation, helps to regulate your menstrual cycle, helps to reduce bleeding, helps to reduce the pain associated with your menstruation, helps to shorten the cycle, the bleeding part of your cycle, helps to extend the luteal phase for women who have a short luteal phase, which can also lead to miscarriages. So yoni steam is really, really good, especially if you're using the right herbs. And so since I noticed that a lot of people are not necessarily using the right herbs, especially when they have fertility challenges, I've been making up formulas for women who have different fertility issues. And so in this video, I basically want to announce that I am doing a pre-launch for fibroid yoni steams, or yoni steams that are good for fibroids. Okay, and so these are not just general herbs that are the cheapest herbs on the list, that are the first herbs that you can hurry up and buy, and you can throw yoni steams out there and you can make a quick buck or nothing like that. These are herbs that basically are used in Ayurvedic medicine, traditional Chinese medicine. Okay, herbs that are really beneficial for women with fibroids. Okay, so not herbs that are going to be having things that are going to produce an over abundant amount of estrogen, or really try to get your body to produce estrogen. And you all know me, if you've been watching any of my videos or content online, I am not anti-estrogen. I feel like some people that are against estrogen talking, oh, soy is bad for you because it has estrogen. Oh, flax is bad because it has estrogen, or this and milk thistle is bad because it has estrogen. No, 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 no. You like a lot of things, okay, in this world, there are levels, there are variations to things. So some herbs produce a lot of estrogen, or some foods or whatever. Some produce a little bit of estrogen. Some are in the middle. And then you also got to look at the individual person. So some women, they have more estrogen in their body. They may have more fat in their body, and fat stores estrogen. So they may need a lot less estrogen. Whereas some people with like PCOS, they're producing more testosterone, right? So they may need estrogen to help to balance that out, right? And so, the herbs are pretty much the same way. There's varying levels, and some herbs, when you're dealing with estrogen that is coming from natural plant bases, you have you're dealing with natural estrogen. So another thing is that a lot of the estrogen that we're getting is coming from things like plastics, like receipt papers. Okay, well, this is not a receipt paper, but yeah, a lot of things is coming from, a lot of estrogens come from things that are called xenoestrogens. So xenoestrogens are like artificial estrogens. They're inorganic, and they can be more powerful and more potent, because it's kind of like, just imagine like a rubber ball connecting to your receptor site in your womb. Okay, so your womb again has a lot of receptor sites for estrogen. So just imagine like a bunch of rubber balls compared to something that can dissolve, compared to a natural molecule, or a natural thing binding to the receptor that's going to dissolve and melt into it, and then slowly release estrogen and slowly produce estrogen in your body, or stimulate your body to produce estrogen, and slowly and gently allow your body to do things, compared to this rubber ball that's just stuck in your receptor. Okay, and like your receptor, just imagine it's like something that goes like this rubber ball that's just stuck there and constantly telling your body, produce estrogen, produce estrogen, produce estrogen, produce estrogen. So that's like the difference between artificial estrogen, or xenoestrogen, and organic estrogen that is more plant-based, or they call them phytoestrogens, right? So a lot of the problem with estrogen is really that these estrogens are inorganic. They're xenoestrogens, and they're really not designed to be in our body, and they're not going nowhere. They're just over there taking up the different estrogen receptors, blocking all of the channels, and so the natural estrogen can't go in there. Whereas you can sort of like imagine, if you just have like a natural estrogen that just slowly, gently just massages the receptor, if I can do all that, and then sort of just melts into it, and possibly the estrogen receptor site even closing, so that way this ball of estrogen can't like get in, because he's that estrogen is like, I'm good. She like, I'm good. I don't need no more estrogen, compared to this estrogen just sort of like constantly stimulating your body. So that could be like the difference, right? So all estrogen is not bad for you. So when it comes to yoni steam herbs, you want to make sure that you're using again, herbs that are going to be, very effective for fibroids. Things like dangqua, okay, been used for fibroids in TCM. Things like there are certain herbs, again, like turmeric, okay, very good for fibroids. It's also one of the things that I took in my apple cider vinegar blends that I used to take, which I really feel also helped to shrink my fibroid. Okay, turmeric is really good. Again, so it helps to like get rid of or break down the protein chains of the fibroid. Okay. Um, things like ginger help to get the body, help to promote circulation in the body. Okay, and herbs like that. So basically, what I'm doing is I've created 3 blends. Okay, make sure I got 3 fingers. So I'm not like bro man for the 4th floor, for the 5th floor. But I've created 3 fibroid yoni steams. Okay, to deal with the different things that you may be going through with your fibroids. So whether you feel as though your fibroids are caused from emotional trauma, I've got a blend for that. Okay, if your fibroids you feel are due to like poor circulation, from you not connecting with your womb, or from you like shutting it off, doing as women tend to do when we are trying to do certain things in this world and we feel like we can't pay attention to our own body. If you need like a steam to help you to reconnect and re-tap into your sort of femininity and your womb and your sacral chakra, there is going to be a herb for that. And then I also have one for, again, if you just want like a general steam to sort of just help you to get past this hurdle and to promote your fertility. So all these herbs are going to be yoni steams that are good for fertility and fibroids, okay, with the intention on shrinking the fibroid and promoting fertility at the same time. Whereas other herbs and other yoni steam packs that I see out there, they're really just sort of recreational herbs. Are they really just something, again, trendy? These yoni steams that I'm creating, they're not going to be trendy. They are going to be premium herbs. They are going to be deluxe herbs. I'm going to be including oils in there. I am going to be charging my yoni steams, okay, with crystals, with Reiki. Okay, so they're going to be basically herbalist or Reiki herbalist formulated, because your girl, okay, I do all of that. So, and as you know, I've created my fertility herbs masterclass, which you've all pretty much probably seen me promoting, okay, ever since I created it. Okay, so I know which herbs to deal with. Okay, and I know which herbs to sort of leave alone and to save for something else like PCOS or something else. Okay, but these blends are going to be, again, specifically for women with fibroids. Now, if you got things like polyps, endometriosis, and cysts, some of the herbs that I'm going to be using, they can also be used for that. But I'm really trying to focus on, again, women with fibroids this time, because those are going to be the intention that I put into these herbs when I'm doing the Reiki work on these herbs, right? So if you want yoni steam herbs for that, you got to let me know, and then I will create something at a later date. But these herbs, when I get these herbs, again, I'm going to be ordering them with the intention for dealing with women with fibroids and for, again, helping to shrink the fibroids when I do my manifestations and my intentions with these herbs. So you're going to pretty much be getting like a triple whammy here. You're going to be getting herbs that are specifically ordered and blended for fibroids, herbs that are going to be again, getting like Reiki affirmation work, and again, just the Reiki work in general, being charged with the crystals and all of that for the fibroids. Okay, so look out for that. If you want to get these herbs or get these yoni steams, okay, you can click the link that I have in the description right now. I already put it in the description, so you don't got to wait for the videos over for me to come back a month later and put the right link in there. The link is there. So go fill out the form for the link. And I will send you some more information in the coming weeks, again, as I, again, get closer and closer to the actual launch. So it's a pre-launch right now that I'm doing right now. So you can pre-order your herbs, because I'm doing a small batch. I'm not getting a whole bunch of herbs. Okay, I'm doing a small batch. Okay, so these are going to be small batch of yoni steam herbs. It's going to be a limited quantity. It's going to be a small supply. So this is one of the reasons why, again, they cannot heal you, because they do not want to You know, they don't want to get all these herbs and have to do all of this and all of that. They just want something that is cheaper. If you look at the medical industry, they want cheap, they want fast, they want quick. No, I don't. That's good. How I'm gonna talk. I'm doing a live video, right? So, so what I'm doing is different. Okay, this stuff is called. Okay, you got fast food, you got fast so-called healing, and then you got the long and the slow process. So we're doing long and slow, but once I launch these, they're probably gonna go on the same day, because I have been speaking with a lot of women, and they've been telling me that they have fibroids, and so I'm creating this for them. And I also, of course, been dealing with women with other things, but I'm going to start with the fibroids because, again, I can easily relate to that. And I've pretty much shrunk my breast fibroid myself without even really trying hard. Like, I wasn't even really like, oh, I'm trying to shrink this fibroid. No, I was just like, I acknowledged it. And I just was doing things. Like, I'm a type where it's like, I understand when it comes to fertility and when it comes to the woman's body, that stress just makes things worse. So that is why I did my 21-day herbal challenge. That was to increase your fertility without thinking about fertility. So that's sort of like what I was doing. And again, the goal of that 21-day herbal challenge was to focus on other parts of your body, or focus on other things that the herbs were good for. So I was taking maca and fenugreek. Maca and fenugreek is very good for fertility. Maca makes your butt grow, fenugreek make your breast grow. But they also help, again, to regulate hormones and, again, promote ovulation and fertility in general. But my focus was not on that. So that's why the posts that I were making, they were about women with big butts and stuff like that, big breasts, right? So it's like, you have to sort of I don't really want to say trick your brain, but you really got to focus on other things. You really got to not be so stressed out by what you're trying to do that you work against yourself. So someone is asking, Ronald, you're asking, do I sell crystals? I don't sell crystals. I really don't do a lot of selling of anything. So really, this is something that, if you want these herbs, and you're watching and you're a woman, you're gonna pretty much just have to get in when you can, because if I do this and if it goes well, I will continue to do the Yoni steams for fibroids. If not, afterwards, I'm going to move on to the different things, because I do want to give everyone that is reaching out to me an opportunity to, be able to heal themselves with these things. Like, ideally, really, I feel like the best way in order to get healing is to actually work with me one-on-one. Because for those of you that do know, I do offer fertility coaching, right? And if you do want that, you have to you have to reach out to me, and I schedule a free session with you, and then we talk. I ask you some questions, make sure that we're a good fit together, and then I create a coaching plan just for you. So if you want that, that's actually going to be on my other website. So you're going to have to go to go to blackfertilitysecrets.wordpress.com/book. That's a lot. Okay, really what you can do after this video, I'm going to create a work with me page on my new website, because it's actually a new website. So after this video is over, go to natasiawinter.com/book. That's so much easier, right? So after this, go there, and I will just transfer my information to that page, so that way you can easily book a call with me. So you basically, again, go to my website, natasiawinter.com/book, or blackfertilitysecrets.wordpress.com/book. Click on the pink button. It'll take you to my booking site. Okay, book a time that's good for you. Okay, and I will call you. I will send you actually the link to call me on Zoom. We're gonna speak to each other on Zoom, find out if we're a good fit. You're basically going to tell me what's going on with you, and I'm going to ask you some other questions in order to sort of be able to identify where you are you know, what you need, whether you have fibroids, whether you have polyps, again, whether you are stressed, how stressed, whether you, again, I think that weight is an issue, what it is that we can do, what kind of exercises, what kind of activities we can do. I may answer one or two of your number one burning questions about fertility. Okay, and then the rest we basically are going to work with together over a series of about 6 to 12 weeks. So that's pretty much how I'm doing that now. So if you want to know when these Yoni steams are going to be launched, go to my website, natasiawinter.com slash what? slash order Yoni steams. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna put that. That's already in the link though, so you don't have to remember any of that. So it's natasiawinter.com slash order Yoni steams. Okay, so that's in the link, and you can go check that now. So do that now while you're watching this video. Just go to my description, click on the link, natasiawinter.com slash order Yoni steams. It's the first link there, right? And so when you click that link, you're going to enter your name and your email. Okay. And you're going to, today or tomorrow, I'm going to start sending emails as the days get closer to the actual launch. So I'm going to launch in about 2 weeks, and then that's going to give you enough time in order to make whatever amount of money you all need to make. Okay, because it's not going to be a $12 Yoni steam. It's not going to be the $8 Yoni steam with free shipping. It's not going to be, I've seen Yoni steams for $5. It's not going to be the $5 Yoni steam. I'm sorry. Okay, I can make that. I can definitely, if you all want that, I can make that, but it's not going to be 100% organic if that's what you want. The herbs I'm making they're going to be 100% organic. They're going to be infused with oils. It's going to take me time again to sort of, what is the word I'm looking for? To not saturate, but infuse. I guess is what I'm looking for. To infuse my Yoni steams with the oils. Okay, so it's going to take me that's why I have it stretched out so far. So it's going to take some time for the oils to infuse. And look, I've studied aromatherapy. I've studied skincare. Okay, so it's kind of like cooking. The food tastes better the next day. It always tastes better the next day, the next morning. Okay, that's why when you have your little gathering, okay, this Christmas and this Thanksgiving, chances are that your mother or your auntie or your grandma cooked the food the night before, or maybe even the night before that, and put it in the fridge. I don't know. Okay, but chances are they cooked the food before, because it tastes better. And the reason for that is because all the molecules had a chance, the food molecules, like from the seasoning, had a chance to sort of bind and connect with each other better, and sort of, make love happen, make things happen in the pot or in the plate, right? Whereas if I just whip this up really quickly and be like Yoni steam, or if you order it from somebody that does that, it's not going to be the same. Okay, it's not going to have the same frequency, the same energy. They're not going to have what's called synergy. So these plants need to, they create synergy when you allow the molecules to bind better. So it's like aged wine or fine wine or aged cheese or whatever it is that y'all be eating out there that's aged, but are like fermented foods. It's always better when it's like it sits longer together and all of that. So that's another thing I definitely would encourage y'all to do, is to consume more fermented foods. Let this fast food stuff go away. That fast food stuff is for slaves. Okay, it's in order to get things built quickly and done quickly, but then so does your body wear out quickly, because your body has to do all the processing and all of the molecules that are not really digestible yet. Your body has to digest them, and it forces your body to do that. So my Yoni steams are basically going to be premium. Okay, they're going to be all of that. So if you want them, get on the list, because that's the only way you're going to get it. More than likely, because I'm going to be continuing to promote this pretty much daily or whatnot. And as the list grows bigger, the discount that I give with the list is only I'm only making a few of these. I'm only gonna make like 13 of each of the three, or less than, like definitely less than 15 or whatever. So you can already tell, like 40, it's gonna be like 40 altogether. So all I need is 40 people to get these herbs. They're only gonna be there available for about 40 people. And then once that's it, is it. So if you want it, you basically gotta get in on the list now. So that way you have enough time to again prepare for it. It's going the cheapest one on there might be like, I'm thinking because I had to look at how much these stuff are going to cost to order. The cheapest one on there is going to be maybe like $26, and around, to me that's average, because I've seen a lot of yoni steams for about $25, but that's going to be probably the most basic one that I have on there. And then the other ones are going to sort of go into the $40 range. So between $25 and $40. So if you really want to, again, increase your fertility naturally, if you really want to help to shrink your fibroids, this is what I'm having available. I'm not keeping anything secret. It's not going to be no, oh, I didn't know it was going to be that expensive or anything like that. No, I'm letting you know what's happening. And when you get on my email list for these particular herbs, Ronald, please, if you're not trying to get some yoni steam herbs, please don't join this list. Okay, wait for the phallus steam pack, and then you can join that one. But yeah, right. So again, it's for women who have fibroids, who are trying to increase fertility. And another thing is that these herbs are like, I'm not going to be telling you, you're not going to need to use a whole cup of herbs. I've seen some of these websites, and they're telling the woman pour in one whole cup. I'm like, do you know that you do not need a whole cup of herbs in order to yoni steam? Okay. So if, sometimes people do that, they're really just trying to get you to use all of the product, so that way you can buy it again next week. No. Okay. If you want to use a cup, definitely you could indulge in it all you want. Right. But for the moment, I am intending on giving you enough to really last, to do about 6 yoni steams, 6 to 12 yoni steams. Okay. And as you know, nobody's out there telling you to do that much yoni steams. They're all telling you to do two a month. 2 a month when you have fibroids, to me, is not enough. Okay. Some people tell you to do it once every 6 months. No. Okay. Don't, like, you're playing games. You're eating junk food every day. Sitting on, all day. To me, I'm sitting too long. It's been an hour. Sitting all day. What else? Not moving around, not drinking enough water, not doing enough exercise, and then you think 2 yoni steams is going to do something. And I know they make these places look so cute, y'all. They make these yoni steam spas look so dope. But you go in there twice, and it's not cutting it. Right? So yeah, you really need to turn that up, especially when you're dealing with something like fibroids. Like recreationally, fine, man. You don't even need organic if it's just recreational. The pesticides is probably not going to do no more damage to the insides of you than the pesticided foods that you're eating. So if you want the cheap, the cheap quick fix, go ahead, get your little $2 yoni steam, and call it a day. But if you really want that long-term fertility and that long-term healing, it really is a lifestyle, right? And for some of you, they don't have to be forever, but at least put some work in, right? At least put some work in. So I really hope that y'all like this video. Okay, so you say you're here to learn more for your wife. We are going to work on having a child. You greatly appreciate me making my knowledge and wisdom available to us. You're welcome, right? Right? So yeah, I mean, I really feel like some of the things that I did when I was younger is really what helped me to have a baby and babies, because I used to fear that I was going to be infertile. I would see all these these videos, and like I would pick up on certain things that I don't think anybody else was picking up on, obviously, right? But I was picking up on, wait, they're saying we're all going to be infertile. Mm-mm. And then, I come, my family, my mom is supposed to be, y'all, I don't know, my mom is supposed to be like the 40th child. I have 45 children. Okay. So, and then when I see people, they only got like 2 or 3 children. Like I used to be as a child, I used to be like, what's going on here? How do you go from 40 to 45? I know that's a lot, but obviously my grandfather, he was, something. Okay, he must have been fine and all of that. I don't know. But how I did used to question, how do you go from 45 children to 2 children, and you know you don't want no more, and just into what you call it, infertility. And this is before I even knew about things like infertility. This was before I knew about fibroids and miscarriages. I used to be wondering, like I really did put a lot of meditation into it. And so now, and yeah, I used to think that the people just didn't have a lot of children because they were all on birth control, but that's not always the case. Like, yes, birth control definitely plays a role, but the birth control can lead to other things, right? And so it can, the diet and the food and the lifestyle that we're living. So yes, 45 children. Okay, so hey, you're trying to figure out whether you should have one. Right. So yeah, so I really hope this video again was helpful for you. Definitely make sure that you join my list. And okay, since you're learning for your woman, you could show her this video and let her see or decide whether this is something that she will be interested in. Please share my video in your Facebook groups, on your Facebook pages, or any groups that you are in. Share my video on your Twitter and post it. Thank you very much. And let me know, screenshot my little video and post it on your Instagram. I don't know. You can even record a little mini section of this video and you can post it where you like. I know the quality of this video is not the best. I need to work on my front facing lighting. It's just, I don't like my other walls. I like my little blue wall, which is not looking so blue right now. But so yeah, share my video, please. Thank you. Make sure that you like my video. I see one like. Why I only see one like, and it's all y'all out here watching my video. Right? All right. Thank you. And I'm so glad that you came by and showed some love. Right? So yeah, I'm gonna go drink some tea. That's another thing. So make sure that you all are drinking tea. Okay, drink some tea. Don't just like yoni steam. That's another thing. Yoni steaming to me twice a month is like, that's like drinking water like twice a month to me. Like, are you so y'all don't be drinking no water, no tea, huh? But of course, for yoni steaming, you don't want to do it every day. Your yoni is not something that needs to be. It does not have to be what you call it. Like it doesn't need detergent. So it's not something that needs to be cleaned and scoured and scraped and scrubbed and all that. You don't need to overexert your vagina. Okay, that's what the yoni is. The yoni is not really the womb. You do not need to overexert your womb or vagina. You don't need to add additional trauma to it by yoni steaming too often. You just need, if you have fibroids, you just so happen to be in a position where you may need to do some more things to it, right? Other than just doing nothing or just sending it to the doctor to cut out, right? So with yoni steaming, again, I'll go through that in the emails or some more videos, how often you want to yoni steam, where, when, why, and all of that, right? So definitely don't get me wrong and be thinking that, there's something wrong with your yoni and that you need to be yoni steaming every day, all day. That's not something you want to do. Although I do have a method where you can do that, without overexerting your womb or your vagina. And that's just because I use less water and I have a mobile way where I can pretty much still be functional and still walk around in yoni steam. But ideally you want to sit down, you want to stop what you're doing in yoni steam, because that's something that's so hard for us to do as women, is to just stop and to just let go and release. And that's why yoni steaming, again, is so popular, because it's like, it really helps women to sort of just sit back and relax and not have to be worrying and thinking about 1,000 things. It's kind of like having 2 baths in one day for some of you, because, you know, as a woman, it's sort of hard to have a bath, especially if you have children, or, you know, if you got like a busy life going on. You can't just sit back for a bath for no 3-4 hours. But if you're yoni steaming, you have sort of an excuse, because you got all these blankets on you, and, you know, you've done set the mood and set the tone, and you set the time and the space, that it's like you're not stopping what you're doing for anybody. But so yeah, you don't need to do it on the go like, you know, I've created. It's just another method that I've created that sort of, it was working with me, for me at a certain point in time, and sort of still now, right? So let's see more comments. It's nice to see you again. This was Supreme. So you're welcome. So okay, so tomorrow I guess I'm gonna come back and make some more videos so you all can see. But definitely head over to my website, natasiawinter.com/order yoni steams. So it's natasiawinter.com/order-yoni steams. Okay, and yoni steam is one word on my website. But the link is all in the description. I really appreciate y'all watching this video. Please like, subscribe, and share again, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next video. And if you have any questions, make sure that you ask them within the next hour, and I will answer them within the next hour, more than likely. Of course, I will answer after that, but it might take me a little more time, as I typically will be checking my video within the next hour. So thank you all. Bye, and Black fertility and all of that good stuff. Peace.